Guys, welcome back. Let me check everything, if everything is correct. Sure. Alright. What we're gonna do here is like usual. We're gonna do some job seeking and let's see. My dog is actually eating a bone, so it's gonna be a little bit of a noise, but it will go down soon. So, um, hey Sapam, how are you doing? You're early. I just started. Hmm. My day was okay. I'm a little bit tired. But first, yeah, we're gonna do some job seeking. How was your day? Let's do reset. Let's do 10 minutes. Let's see. Okay. Annoying. I can already tell there's nothing. I can immediately tell. Is this only email? Develop, maintain. Okay, this is only email. That's good. Suit supply. Suit supply. Ah, I see. So is this website? Let's say careers. I'm not sure if it's this one though. Uh, tech vacancies. Email developer. Okay, let's see. Uh, okay, apply now. Do I need to put a LinkedIn? Yeah. Okay, never mind. Studied and watched anime. How's the studying going? Are you you're doing a resit, right? That's how you call it. A resit is like a retry for an exam. What do you mean? What is real? Mm, okay. Doesn't seem there's much. Okay, let's check again with the other. We applied to this one. I applied to this one, but they're not responding. So let me see. Front-end developer. That company is real. I'm not sure, bro. Like on my resume, there's only name, last name. There's not even location. I'm not gonna like. And when I say name, last name, it's like my first letter. So it doesn't mean anything. It's useless data, to be honest. So when an employer asks me, hey, I cannot see your location, those kinds of stuff, I just tell them like nowadays there's a lot of scraping companies and they don't need that data. I can announce that in a conversation. So that's what I tell them. But don't do this in your location. I can get away with it. So I'm not sure if you can get away with it, right? All right. I'm not gonna work on a project today, probably because I have to do some other things. And booking is hiring, but it's a full. The hell is this? Perl, Java, JavaScript, Python. Okay, so this is the scene device. Yeah, they check everything. Yeah, I know. We do have that, right? Like, I'm not saying that we don't have that, and that's probably that some companies say I don't wanna do that, but I just don't wanna give my whole life to a person. So, few front end development, Leiden. Okay, Dong IT. Is it on relevance or on date? Also on relevance. Okay, I'm just gonna check. Dong IT. Oh, I already searched it, so never mind. Okay, let's do on a date. Software engineer manager. Okay, they're all. These are jobs from almost 2 weeks ago, to be honest. So there's basically no job, new job. We have seen it. But in the meantime, then we can apply to the jobs that I have here. So let's go here. We apply to these ones, and then let's see what I've looked up. It's PHP though. I have no. PHP is not front-end development. It's a pre if you have these ones. CI/CD. Okay. So you're basically writing WordPress. You're always looking. I'm showing you in my language. Uh, like here they say they're always looking. That is usually a bad sign. This is WordPress. I can immediately tell. And it's bugged because it moves. Okay, polyfill. This is nothing special to be honest. Dutch digital agencies. Oh yeah, so if you don't know this, so this Dutch digital agencies, this is like a gathering of agencies across the Netherlands. IT are in this circle, and they decided that because you are in this agency, you have to pay in a certain salary range. And this is really bad because the competitiveness goes low, but they still have a lot of offers, so they have to pay developers less because of this. Check our work. Okay, there are no, there are three vacancies. Front-end development. I just want to see. How do you apply? Oh, it's the quick application. I'm just gonna add in my resume. Yeah, mass recruiters. Basically this company already tells you honestly, right? This company says like we're always open to applications, meaning they hoard your data, right? Your name, last name, age. I don't even have my age on a part, so I'm a huge asshole when it comes to this. But then again, I can get away with it. So I do have some advantages in my country. Um, Let me, pretty good. Now let's check everything here. I see. I'm gonna apply to this one just because. Give me a second. I will do it on mobile. My mobile is acting very slow. So slow that it barely loads. Okay, let me go to. Okay. So this location is very far from me, but my aunt lives close to this location. So I called my aunt. Did you give them blank paper? Yeah, basically. Mm, Let me see. Recent? Where's my resume? I don't see my resume here. Give me a second. I'm gonna apply to this one. Notion. Did you give them blank paper? You're something. But yeah, don't when they say this, they're not hiring. I just want to mention they're really not hiring. But that doesn't matter. You don't have to hire, right? I'm just handing them a resume because of habit. Now it became a strong habit, right? I'm doing this for weeks now, months maybe. So, okay. Okay, did they say they want a apply? You can contact the lead developer. Okay, so what I'm you will take the lead in developing website, web shops, and add apps. Sure, no problems. Um, Resume front end. Okay, almost done. Okay, send resume. Okay, I've done this one. It's fine for now. We will do another one later. Is this the same? One AAC? Yes. Okay, great. We have done that. Now, there's a couple of things that I need to do, and I need to decide what to do. And so I'm a bit stuck. So we have this React Native part, right? And that's not a huge deal, the React Native. The problem is that Apple, if you release your app, like Apple developer pricing, this one is, let me see where it is. It's 99 USD. And then not only I have to do that, this is yearly, right? This is yearly. This is not one-time fee. But if I use React Native, then I have to, yeah, get rid of that. The second thing is Google Play Store, Google Play Store pricing developer. It's also money, but it's better, to be honest. Let me see where it is. A service fee, but it's like $25. So yeah, um, I don't want to pay that for now, so that's why I decided to halt this project. This project is nothing special. I have to finish it maybe one time, and then we have the project that we have now, and we have the data structures and algorithm. So yeah, let's do some React practice. Do we still know how to do what we did yesterday? Let's see. Yesterday we want to have a filter fruit logic. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna say data, set data. We're gonna say const fruits is an array. Okay. We're not making a to do, so let's do input. Okay. Um, on change is um, um, okay. Okay, that works. Now we have to do some filter logic. Um, what are you making? I'm making a list here that I want to loop through. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Um, const filter is fruits dot filter, and then we're gonna say fruit, and we want to open that, and then we say we want to have the fruit. Fruit includes the term or the data in this case. Okay, and now we can loop through. So let's do a looping. Let's do filter. Let me see. No, we should do, yeah, filter.map. Um, Item and ID because ID doesn't work here. And then we're gonna say ID key is ID. Uh, ID what? Item.id. And then this is what am I doing? I just need to do ID, and we do item here. Okay, that doesn't work yet. Um, Anyways, let's remove this one line. Let's do a placeholder actually. So placeholder is type your fruit. Okay, and what should happen is that it should loop over the list. So I have not created an UL, so that is something I forgot. What's the problem? Oh, okay, still doesn't work. Am I doing it right though? Filter foot. Let's set a timer. Sneaky. Okay. Okay, works fine. Great. So don't forget the return with that part. Okay, that works. Okay, now we're gonna make the other one. Let me think of what the other one, what it was. I forgot about it. Um, oh yeah, tap switch. So we need to make a tap switch. A couple things need to happen with the tap switch. We need to have a state. We need to have a filter or find. We need to have some button handler with logic, right? With logic, and also with logic. We need to have JSX mapping, and we need to JSX render list. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So const mm, data set data is use state, which starts with a null because it's not a string. Okay, so that's the first one. Then we want to do mm, we need some static data. So static data. Let's type that first. So const tabs is an array of objects which starts with a question, and this question is going to be question one, and then the second one is going to be answer. Don't forget the comma here, which is answer one. Okay, great. Then we have that. Now we want to do comma, and we want to do the exact same. So copying, copy, paste, and we just want to remove that. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so we have some tabs. Okay, static data is done. Now we want to have some filter logic, so const filtered, and we're going to filter through the tabs. So tabs.filter. We're going to say we want to filter the tab, and we're going to say that the tab should be equal to the data. Now why you want to do that? Because um, this data is a placeholder what we're going to render later on. So if we have a certain button and a certain error, like question and answer, I want to say the answer is equal to the tab.answer. So let me actually do that. Let's do tab.answer here. Good that I mentioned this. Tab.answer. And then we want to have a button handler. So const button handler is an anonymous function which we are going to open. Then we're going to say we need an argument, and that argument is going to be an args. Okay, and then we're going to say set data, which is going to fire a function. We start with the argument, and we're going to say that if the argument is equal to if the argument is equal to the data, then we want to render nothing because it's already equal. Else we want to render the data. I think this is how you do it. Let's do a couple more minutes. I'm not done writing. Okay, so 5 minutes. Now we want to render this. Let's see if we can render this. So we did the find filter. No, we did not. Yeah, let's do find. It's better. Find is the same. Okay, so let's map through that. So we're gonna say filtered dot map because we already found the key, right? We already found it. Filtered dot map. We're just gonna open an item and ID, and we're rendering, so we need to return something. And when we return something, we want to return a button, and that button is going to have a name, which is item.question. And that does not render, so we have a mistake somewhere. No, that's not true, because we need a key, which is the ID. Okay, so we still have a mistake somewhere. Filter the map, filter the map, tabs the finds, tab answers data. Okay, return, filtered. I get nothing on the screen, but that doesn't mean I have a mistake. So we don't know. Okay, but anyways, before we go there, we actually want to open another one, and we're gonna say if filtered is true, then we want to render the tab because we are not inside the loop. We're gonna send tabs dot answer. Okay. Else we want to render null. On click, we want to have the button handler fire the function of the button handler. Give me a second. The button handler, which has an argument, but the argument should be the same as item dot answer because we said here that we wanna do the tab answers equal to the data. So then the button handler, the argument should also be equal to the data, which is the tab answer. But here we're using a different empty argument, so we say item.answer. But we have a mistake somewhere. So we need to check that out. So we're gonna say we rendered the list. We did the mapping. We did the filter find logic. And the tab switch should be there. Now, um, now I'm wondering if I'm doing it right. So let's do just tabs, and let's see if that is my mistake. Okay, so we have something rendered. So that is true. Now the click here does not work, and we're using the find function here. And we are outside, so that means, but we are inside the function, so we can use tap.answer. Does that make the difference? It does not. But we're a little bit closer. Let's read line by line. Okay, that seems fine. Const filters, which is tab.find. We write a function and we say we wanna, if you find the tab answer is equal to data, you wanna actually render it, right? Let's see, I'm doubting this one, but let's continue. Const button handler, which is an argument, which I open it and then I set the data, and I say arguments is data. I say null and then data shouldn't be, yeah, if the argument is equal to data, do nothing else to data. Let's reverse that. Okay, so that does not seem the problem. So that means that this statement is correct. Um, do we need to invoke a function? That is also something we have to think about, right? We can maybe say arguments like this. No, we really need to set the set this. Okay, so this one is fine. This one we doubt, and let's continue. So we start with the null. So there's nothing inside, but we are pointing the arguments to the data. So there should be something inside. Tabs.map item.id. Then we say on click, do I need to invoke this function? Yes, we do. Okay. Then we say item.answer. Does that make sense? Yes, because we have item here, so we need to say item, which is tabs, right? Dot answer. Then we have a key of an ID, and we have question 1, question 2. Then we say the item question, which is the name, which is also true. So something I'm doubting is that we should use question here for both of them. So let's go here, question for both of them. Okay, that does not work, but it's basically the same. So I'm not worried about that part. So if filtered, and we're using the find function, so we don't need to check the length, we can say we want to have tab.answer, and that makes sense because we are in a filtered function saying tab.answer. Right? Because we cannot say item. We do can say tabs, maybe. Does that make a difference? It does not. Okay. So I'm keeping it as a tab. So the only thing that I think is wrong, could be wrong, is this button handler. So we checked everything, and I think I cannot figure it out, even though I'm very close. I will decide to give it 3 more minutes. Let's give it 3 more minutes. Okay. First question, answer. Tab find. Okay, here's where I'm doubting. Const filtered is tabs.find. Tab question is equal to data. What if I use a filter function? Let's use filter. So if we are using a filter, then we have to say if the filter.length is bigger than 0, then we need to say tab 0 dot answer. Okay. That makes sense because we have answer here. So it's not this logic, or it's the logic inside. Okay, then let's go to the button handler again. Well, if we're using the argument here, can we then use the argument here as well? Does that make any sense? No, it does not. Okay. So here's where I'm doubting. Let's think about it. Let's look at this logic. On click, we want to say item that question, which is you find the type of question. That makes total sense. Yeah. You can also say answer, but then you need to change the answer here. Like you need to change this one. What would it be? What would be my syntactic mistake? My logic mistake? I think it's here. This is actually data, yes. And it's a set data, yes. I fire a function on click with a key of an ID with the item question. Okay. I think that's enough. I don't see it, so it's ChatGPT time. We're very close. Show me the answer. Problems. Filtered is declared outside of the component, so it won't update when data changes. Oh. Does that mean that I need to do filtered here as well? Filtered? Okay, so this logic is fine. Okay, I see. Ah, okay, I see the logic here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm right. The logic mistake is here. So let's fix that. Okay, let's do prefixes is equal to args, and then we wanna render args like this. Answer. No answer. This is fine. Should not be a mistake. Okay, let's do it another time. Where's still the mistake? You're using. Oh, okay. Ah, I see. Yeah. So basically, what it's saying, how are you, Tabani? Basically, what it's saying is we have to put it here. Okay. Okay, so don't forget the placement because it's out of scope, right? It's called, it has a specific name for it. Um, I forgot the name, but something with JavaScript, it becomes, you cannot call it unless it's a var variable. What's up, bro? I wonder if I don't need to use this and I can just say data. Let me see, because that will be more useful. Okay, that's not possible. You actually need to have a replacement argument parameter. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Let's do the find method again. So we will say filter.length like this, and then we say instead of filter we say find, and that should work. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. 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 Okay. We're going to study the next one, which is, let me see. Um, Here. Okay. Um, let's do the accordion, and let's do the model click anywhere. Okay. So let's do that. Use callback. No, no, not needed here. I will tell you why. Um, I understand the callback, what you mean, but here we're using it specifically for rendering something, so I don't see why we should use something like this. So, but it works. So, all right. Let me see where it is. So we want to. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna study this one, and what is this? Tab button handler. This is what we just did with the find method, but that's not what I'm looking for. Mm, we don't want to do. Yeah, it's this one, but this is not a good case. Yeah, here. Yeah, I forget the definitions all the time. I have a list for this. Let me see where it is. I actually finished the list, but I forgot again. Let me see. Not this one's. Here, I have a list. It's like 80, but I don't know where it is. But somewhere along the line, I talk about higher order functions in JavaScript. Here, higher order functions. Wait, I already did this, but not sure where it is. So we talked about it. But the mistake that I made was, let me see, temporal dead zone. That's the mistake that I made because I said, not sure if it's still here. I use this once over here, but I'm using data, so it's a temporary dead zone. Okay, I forget this definition. Thank you, Mir Tabani, for the knowledge. Right? Okay, let's do this one. It's very similar, but we're gonna check what's going on. So here we have some static data, right? Static, okay, static data. We are having a state, and we have a logic here. Let's see what the logic is all about. On click, as answer is equal to the index, then do nothing else index. Then we have item question, and if the arithmetic index is present, so these ones is equal to this index, then we render item.answer. But it's still inside the looping, so that is something that I should check here. I wonder if it will work without being in a loop. And that doesn't seem to be the case, because then I have to have another empty keyword. This means that I have to put this set active index inside the function. So then I need to write something like this, right? And then I can use probably the logic also outside. So instead of doing the index, we comparing it to the empty argument or parameter. And this is just one accordion, right? This is not like the tap switch that we had. One thing to notice is that we are not filtering. We're just revealing the answer that has been hidden because we have not used it until the active index is equal to the index. So my challenge here is that I want to render this in a function, and this one I want it to be outside of the loop. But let's think about how I would do that. What are we comparing to? Um, is it actually possible? That is what I'm saying. Probably. Mm, what I would do? What would I compare to? Then it's possible, but then I need to compare it to something like this, like maybe data.id or something. Hmm. What did I do here? So let's check. I said the filtered, which is a keyword, is equal is true, then we render, else it's null. So maybe it's not possible to have it outside. I wonder about this. Mm, so I think the next level is see the difference between the tap switch and the accordion itself. Like the tap switch will also work with the accordion here. That is not That is not the issue. So yeah, we did a lot of crossings. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT a question. So I'm gonna say something like this. And I'm gonna say, what is the difference between the above code block and this image? We'll see. And one major syntax error even. Oh, okay, see. Oh, oh, okay. But that's not a bug. That's just a naming issue. Mm, is it possible to have this statement outside of the whoop? Yeah, I need to change my logic. Yeah, that's what we figured. Let's see. Data active. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if you're storing it in the set active index, but you're only storing it in the they're missing some things here. Um, show me the whole code block for option 2. I just want to see. Okay. So yeah, they put the handle click outside. And this is confusing, right? But I get what they're doing. So this one is this one. So we have the same question. And then if the after index cannot be null, why do you need to do this check? I don't think you need to do this check. Oh, we do need to do this check because we are using yeah, we're using this line. Okay, so it says data active index dot answer. Okay, so yeah, I was right about the part, this part. Something I wonder about. I'm just gonna ask, um, just in case if I don't understand why. So the reason why is because of the syntax, right? We have a certain value. So okay, I don't like works won't show answer for index 0. Okay, Um, can I do a ternary? Let me see a ternary. We still need to do the check. Okay, because of the index. Hmm. Let me think about it. Oh, I see. Yeah, JavaScript issues. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But do I prefer that, or do I prefer this answer? I prefer this outside, to be honest. So let's try to write this stuff. Right? Let's try to write this. So we have this button argument already, right? So we need to do tabs dot map item ID. Okay. We want to have a button and a button. We want to have ida dot question as first. Doesn't render anything, so because we don't have a return and we don't have an ID yet, so let's do key is ID. Okay, and we have multiple ones. Is that correct? Let's actually cheat a little bit. Okay, so they're multiple ones. Okay, okay, so that's correct. Let's go back, and now we want to say on click, and then we want to say button handler ID. Now why do we want to say what the handler ID? Because then we can render. Let's see if it actually works. So we're gonna say if the data is equal to the ID, then we want to actually do a toggler, but let's do just p and let's say item dot answer. Else we want to render null. I think that is basically the same what we had. Okay, data. Okay, so that's um yeah, data is active to null. What does it say? Expected but found. So it's a syntax issue. Why? I don't see a syntax issue, to be honest. We're setting ID, right? We're just checking the ID here and the ID there. Oh, wait a minute. We need fragments because we are using more than one statement. I think that is it. We still don't have the button, so we do have a mistake. Why? Do we need to fire a function? Yeah, okay. Forgot about that. So we need to bit weird syntax, but it shows as a block. Let's do a span. Span. So there's a little bit of a weird stuff going on. Okay. Can we do it at the same time? No. So the other one closes. But that will basically be almost the same as a tap switch, right? So I'm gonna ask, alright, but wouldn't the first code mentioned in this block that is correct be the same as the last part? I mean, in the sense of functionality. It's not what I meant, but I meant this one and this one. Differences. Isn't the first one for a tap switch and the other one for just an accordion? You hit to continue the step because the attachment, the limit will reset. Oh, ChatGPT and the shenanigans, bro. Oh, okay, let's do a new chat. Let's do it again. Okay, this one, and then I ask a question. Okay. What if one tab shows a lot of data? Could I also use the second one? Okay. Okay. So basically their functionality is the same. That's what they're saying. Okay, so let me get a good example of that code that we had. Let's see where it is. Okay, let's copy that. Okay, let's copy that here, and we'll check tomorrow for this one. All right, now let's do a little bit of the project that we currently have. So let's go here. You immediately go to the project, the most difficult project, right, that I've ever done. So, all right. let's go to localhost. So what the project are we making currently? It's a very advanced front-end project. So you would check it out. Hate this already. So yeah, there's a lot of things to write. A lot of things. So yeah, where are we currently? We don't have the advanced animation yet. I did put one animation here, but just for trying. But this is what we currently have. And here at this part, we have to make a this, yeah. I'm wondering how I should make it though. I think a 2x2 grid will be. What did I do here? Let me think. Yeah, I did a grid. How does it look on mobile? That I think that's important to see. Let's see on mobile. Okay, they changed it. Okay, but I can just do that. That's not a problem. Let's see what's going on here. So I think we're gonna make one static first, and then I think we can just make two statics of these ones. And the reason why is because they have different logic with the numbers. And we can just say, put this next to each other, right? Or we can put it in a column. Something like that. So yeah, let's start creating this stuff then. Okay, let's go to projects. It's the projects, right? No, it's why choose us. Why choose us? Okay, let's close everything. Okay, and this is the div with the text, which is this text. Okay, so then if that is the case, what you saw, content right. We want to actually put this then inside a div, and we say data why choose us content right text. Okay. Now why am I doing that? Because we want to set a certain height on this stuff. So we're gonna say margin top. You can actually say padding top 70 pixels. Let's do that. Padding top. No, actually, instead of this one, let's create a new div. Um, right, great. What am I coding? This is what we're coding. And this is the real website. So there's a lot of things going on. We're coding this in Next.js. So You can check the website. It's fabrica.framer.media. Okay. Uh, I've been coding for 3 years. It's not a long time. Okay. And then in this padding, we want to create something like this. Mm, let's see how big that actually is. So let's go up and let's check out what the width and height is. It's 377 by 150. I don't believe it, but um, pixels by height 15 pixels. And we're just gonna render some text, and the text that I wanna render is big int h2. Let me see how it's called. Let's go to typography. Oh, int h2. Okay, int h2, and then from typography main, and it expects us to have to render something which is 50 plus. We're not gonna do a counter on it yet, but we will later. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so we have something on the screen. That's good. Now it says 377 by height 150 pixels, and it has a rounding. So let's see what the rounding is. It does not give me the rounding at all. That's pretty annoying, to be honest. Okay, 18. It's 18. Rounded. We're using Tailwind for this. It doesn't matter. What matters are results. To be honest, it looks very good. What's your favorite code language? Not React. That's for sure. I think just plain HTML. People don't call this a language, but I really like it. So, but this is my opinion, right? Oh, of course, because it's only one item, we can say margin, right? Doesn't respond. Oh, because it is only one item. That's why. So, okay. Let's actually do it in dark mode for a bit. It doesn't really matter, so. Okay. It seems that my text is a little bit too big, so we have int h1 and h2, so h1 is even bigger, probably. Yeah, okay. But it's close, so we don't matter. What is your favorite programming language? HTML is still promising, still a lot of websites have used it. You've gone some sort of school, you like university for computer science. Bro, what I'm doing right now has nothing to do with computer science. So, in my opinion. Okay, we have like a 1 here. Mm, do we want to do something about this? That's the question. So what we can do, we can say, have a P here, right? And this P is gonna be 0, 1. That's for sure. But I said item center, then I should not say that. Then I should say text center. No, I should say item center. Justify between. I think that's good. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. Okay. They should. Okay. Okay. Let me go here and. Mm, let's see where it is. Okay. I want to say top 0. And then I want to say right 6 or 7. 6. I did 7 by accident. It's actually 10 maybe. See? Okay. And then we said top 10. Let's do 10. Let's see. It's too much. Let's do 4. Okay. Let's make it significantly smaller. So let's do text 8 pixels. Okay. So you see that the top actually does need more, but not that much. So Um, it has some bolding, so let's work on that. So font semi-bold, and they are closer to each other. It's actually bold. Okay. Yeah, but I went to university and we still had to learn HTML, so that's why I asked. But in all honesty, everything someone writes code, so yeah, you could call it computer science. Do you have like a course? I'm not sure about your country or where you're from, but for me, I had a web development course which was HTML and a little bit of CSS, like not a lot even. And we had a little bit of JavaScript and we had to make a crude app. And that was the most smallest crude app. They gave us a REST API and we just need to attach so we could add something or reset something. It was the most ridiculous course I've ever followed. So let's do some tracking. So tracking means that letters will be closer to each other. Okay. I would say mine is a little bit too small. Yeah, let's work on the text. So we can say text is, let's keep it consistent, 626262, something like that. Mine is a little bit clear, to be honest. I would say font black would even do here. Yeah. And there's a little bit too much spacing, so let's do like 8. No, it's definitely between 6 and 8. Like I don't have like a specific browser to do overlays and those kinds of stuff, so. But I'm satisfied with this result, to be honest. I'm gonna lie. Okay, text center. Great. Now we need to create this one. 337 by 330. Okay. So this is back on right, relative. Okay, so I need to do this after this div. Let's actually give this a name. Data upper lower. Okay. Alt set to show everything on screen and rounded. Okay, we have this one. Class names. And it says that this was 330 pixels. Okay, so we have it on screen already. Great. And this should be, because if you see here, right, it has a little bit of padding, but it's not that important right now. So yeah, for me, I think computer science is actually a waste of time. Yeah, if I think what I'm doing now, it's a waste of time. But that's just my opinion, to be honest. Okay, so we have a self placement here, and we have something on the bottom. And both of them are different, which is very annoying. Because here in the text, yeah, I'm not gonna do that specific. So these parts are consistent, but these ones are not, because here you can see that the logos are in the middle, but this one is not in the middle. So that means that we can loop through it, but then I have to make a certain group. I think that's too much to ask. So what I'm going to do, um, I'm gonna render more logos. That's what I'm gonna do. Or, no, wait. What we're gonna do, yeah, let's render more logos. Let's first work on the upper part. How are we gonna do this? So it seems that both of these texts are as much as distance from each other as possible. And this one is right aligned, and this one is left aligned. Um, yeah, let's just start. Let's see where we are heading. Okay, so we are here. We need two text. So the first text is successful projects completed. Okay, and the second one is this one. We're just gonna render logos later, or should we do it now? No, let's actually do it now immediately. So let's render some logos. Let's see where they are. Okay, so they are here. Okay. Why choose us logo 1, logo 2, and then let's do logo 3. Okay, so we have these ones, and we want to just render them for now. So Alt back. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. It's lost. Okay, let's go here. And we have like a div, right? Which is a flex row, which is the default. So I don't need to do this, but I will still do it just in case. We're gonna do justify center and items items center. And we're gonna render these logos. I'm not gonna make a looping. I'm actually gonna just render the logos. So I'm just gonna say images, why choose us, and then logo one. Or actually, let's do this. Logo one. Okay. Oh, why are you not doing it? I think my keyboard is a bit broken. Okay. I'm not sure about the size, right? Okay, so the first logo is rendered, but the second logo and the third logo is not rendered. So we're doing something wrong. What would it be? I'm curious. Let's look at the naming. Aha! Okay. Okay. And I want this to be at the end. Is this still an issue? Oh, that's because of the dark mode. It's not a real issue. Okay. For for these two specifically, so the P and the div, we want to do flex justify between and remove the relative. I just want to see what happens. Okay. And it seems that the flex and justify between is a little bit bugged. So let's see why that is. Because they are next to each other. So we have to say flex call. Okay, so we have this one here and this one over there. Now, we want to create some padding here. So let's do a padding in the Y direction. And let's say 1 rem. So we have a little bit of spacing. For the successful projects completed, we can say after successful projects to do a breakpoint. It's not the best solution, but it works. So for the logos, I say justify center. I just want to say justify between. But I also want to have padding on the y-axis, which is going to be 1 rem maybe. We'll see. And now we have to work on the gap. It's justify around even, I think. Justify around. And let's remove that one. Let's see if that solves the problem. It does. Maybe I can do this a little bit extra. Yeah, that looks pretty right. And I think the padding Y is actually double. Yeah. Now we have to have the P, we have to make a class name, and we have to make, instead of text left, we want to put it at the end. I'm not sure if it works. It does. Okay. It seems like the P is overall. So we have something like this. And I think we can say P1.5, which is the padding, and then they have something like this. And the P2, P1 seems to be over exaggerated, so let's do, let's see. Okay, the spacing around is okay. Mm, I'm fine with this, to be honest. Or should I? No, I don't think I should. So let's remove. I actually have to have this on this line. But does it matter though? But then we have to do space between. So not just the final round, we have to do space between. And then we have a gap issue or not? Yeah, a little bit. That's because of the sizes maybe. Oh, I see. It's because of the inconsistency here. You see that the gap here is bigger than the gap over here. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm fine with this. Um, did we forget something? I'm not gonna do the super logic here, so um, I think we have to make this font semi bold. Let's actually make this like this. Okay. It actually is bold, to be honest. Maybe even bigger. Maybe it's even black. It doesn't respond, I think, because I am not doing it on the text. I have to do it here. Text. Font, semi-bold. Let's see. I'm fine with that. Okay. Let's create a gap in between those. So we want to go all the way to right grip, and we want to say gap in the y direction. Let's do 2. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. Let's do gap 4. Let's see what happens. Okay, nothing happens. Content right grid. Okay. Mm, let's over exaggerate. And let's see if it really doesn't work. It doesn't seem so, eh? Okay. Let's see if we are actually on the right level. Oh, okay. This is the upper, this is the lower. So grid lower. This is the upper. Okay. So we were on the wrong track. So then we have to say gap in the y direction. And let's say 4. Let's see what happens. Okay, that doesn't work. Grid lower. Grid upper. Now it should really be It should really be both of them. Let me see. Yeah, it should be this one. Oh, I do see that a certain width is working. What's going on? Yeah. I'm not sure where this spacing is coming from, to be honest. Because it's not here. Oh, that's because of the whole container matching with that container. Okay. Yeah, okay, no worries. Then we have to go to the right grid and gap should just work. I'm not sure why it doesn't. I'm gonna ask the AI for this. I think that's a good case for AI. I'm too tired to think about it. We did a lot of thinking an hour ago, so um, let's do the ask function, and we're gonna go to why choose us, and we're gonna say online 46. We use gap 10, but it does not respond. Why? Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Flex. Okay. Mm, okay. I did. Yeah, that makes total sense. Let's do flex here then. Let's see what happens. Okay. And then flex call. Then gap 1. Okay. Awesome. So we created one of those, right? I'm thinking about to just create a double one, or should I just render it? That's what I'm wondering. But I think it's enough for now. We created this box, and we can create a second box soon. Just wonder how that works. Okay, so it's like here. Okay. And then a very exciting part is coming here the next time. There's a lot of stuff here going on. So it's a bit laggy. It's not mine though. Mine is not that laggy. So let's reload. And it seems that I have a little bit of a bug. I saw it in the beginning, so let's work on that. Let's go to navigation. And I said that the toggler is true at the beginning. So if you don't know what a toggler is, I'm using the substand. So I'm just going to use the store. Um, where I just say toggler, not toggler. So I think I should say true first then. So let's do here. And then false. But I think starting with false is better and then setting it to true. Is that an issue for you? Okay, that cannot be. So then I have to say true at first and then go to false. Is that true? Let's when we have that, It's all fine. There's only one problem. I want to restart the app and do it again. And I want to see what it does. So localhost 3000. Okay, it starts up fine. Awesome. Okay, that wasn't too bad, right? I'm very happy with that result. And I think that's it for now. We did some hard stuff, and we can go to the next one in the next episode, really. So, yeah. Okay, great. All right. See you guys later. Thanks for being here, and I will see you until the next one.